This
Today I'm going
conference
to
will
be
now
discussing
be
about
recorded.
set timeout functionality. Set timeout. So we're done with the set timeout. So this is a method we are going to be working on today, and we're done with one more function called math.random. Math.random also we discussed, and today we are going to be discussing about set timeout. How we are going to be working with the set timeout functionality using with the JavaScript, and this will be saving by. So what is the date today? 14 by 8. Okay, so how this particular method is going to be working, we will see. Let me create a new and set timeout. Set timeout.html. Okay, let me write a script and let me write a method called set timeout, which is going to be having two parameters. The first parameter is going to be a function. Second parameter is going to be a time. So function 1, comma, so time is going to be something like 1 second. And now let me try to implement function called fun1, and this is going to be having something like alert message, and this alert is going to be time over or timeout. And here let me give 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds I just want to load this particular functionality called a set a timeout. Okay, so when I load the body, suppose when I load the body, within 2 seconds I just want to show the function called timeout. Can you see this? Set a timeout, what happened? So this function got executed, this function got executed, this function got executed within 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds, timeout is going to be getting happened, and that is going to be having some handler function called function1, fun1, and fun1 is going to be executing within 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds, that is going to be working out. Alert timeout is going to be working. And there is a one more function called timer functionality. How timer is working in the JavaScript. So JavaScript timer, how you can set for the timer countdown. So there is a function called countdown timer. How this countdown timer is working with us? Set interval. There is a function called set interval. This set interval, how to work with the set interval, let me show. Set interval. Set interval functionality. How set interval is going to be calling. This interval function is going to be repeating for us. Timeout is going to be making timeout, but interval is going to be repeating for us. Concept is same. Set timeout, which is going to be having some handler function, and time. We need to give the time. That is what actually timeout is. And set interval, how set interval is going to be working for? Set interval, this is also having some handler function. First of all, handler function, and then we need to set the time for that. This is repeating for us. How this is going to be repeating? Let me write a set interval now. Set interval now. Set interval.html. Now let me write a script, and this is going to be set interval. And how this interval function is going to be calling? This is going to be having handler and timeout. Handler and timeout, two parameters which is going to be having. So first one is going to be having handler, second one is going to be having functionality 2000 milliseconds. Okay, what this particular function is going to be working with? Function fun1, and this is going to be having something like a document.write. Okay, so hello. I'm just checking with hello message. How this hello message is going to be printing for us within 2 seconds every time. So let me open this, and can you see and observe? Hello is going to be repeating for us. Hello is going to be repeating for us. A number of times this hello message is going to be printing on top of the screen. A number of times this hello message is going to be printing on top of the screen. If you want, you can show something like, instead of showing hello message, I want to check with the time. So here, where d is equal to new date, where d is equal to new date, and d dot, okay, document dot write, and each and every 1 second I want to print the particular time. D dot get minutes. Can I go for get minutes? Got seconds. Let me go for the get seconds function. Let me go for the get second function on top of the document, and each and every time, yeah. So that is going to be making change for you. And let me print this one on top of the screen. Hello message is going to be gone. And for each and every 2 seconds, I'm going to be repeating the seconds time, and that is going to be printing on top of the screen. That is going to be printing on top of the screen. After that, I want to make a document dot write. Document dot write. I'm taking break. So how to take a break? So br. So this is what actually the thing is. Can you see this? And for each and every 2 seconds, the time is going to be printing for us. No, I'm not able to see this. For each and every 2 seconds, the time is going to be printing for us. Can you please move this here? Just slowly. Yeah. Yes, done. It's okay. Yes, please. Please leave it. Leave it. Okay, fine. Make it down. Make it down. Slowly. Yes, submit. Quit. Okay, can you see time is going to be moving for you for each and every 2 seconds? So that is what actually set interval. One is set timeout, one is set interval. Is it clear? So this is very simple. Next, a concept called simple class object properties and methods. How to go and create with the JavaScript class. So this is not object oriented, but basically some object based programming language. How class is going to be preparing with the JavaScript and how these methods are going to be working with the JavaScript. Let's see. In JavaScript, class, what is the definition of the class? Class is a constructor. Class is the constructor, and what this class can contain with. And one more point, a class is encapsulation of properties and functions, properties and methods. Next, object is blueprint of object is blueprint of class. Object is blueprint of class. Next, property is state of an object. Next, method is set of instructions in class. Okay, method will create with methods creating with function keyword. Or method is going to be creating with function keyword. So let me write a program which is going to be having some class, object, properties, and methods. Okay, so something like oops in JavaScript, but not object oriented, just object based programming. JavaScript is just object based programming. Let me write a script. So let me create a class. Create class. Okay, so where, okay, class something like employee, class something like employee, which is going to be having something like this. So this is a class. This is a class class employee, and this employee is going to be having a lot of properties and functions. Okay, where emp name. Okay, so where emp name. Let me create a constructor. Let me create a constructor. This constructor is going to be having, sorry, this constructor is going to be having something like a var emp name. Is this constructor? Something like where emp is equal to employee. From employee, I'm going to be creating object. Now, what my requirement is? Emp dot name is equal to something like Srinivas, and emp dot qualification is equal to something like BTech. Okay, so emp dot location is equal to something like Hyderabad. So I'm going to be working with setters now. Now what my requirement is, I want to working with the getters. How to work with the getters? This is what actually called setters. This is what actually called a create object. And this is what actually called properties, set properties. Now I want to get properties. How to work with the get properties here? Get properties. If you want to get properties, document.write. So document.write and I want to give the emp dot name. The one is the emp dot name. Take a break. How to take a break? Document.write. I'm working with the br. And let me write all the values. It's the second value, this is the third value. And this one, document.emp name, emp qualification, emp location. Sorry, this what location. And fine, execute it, open in the default browser. Now I got, yeah, there is the values. Emp dot name, emp dot qualification, emp dot location. Where the values, inspect it. Got a class constructor employee can't be invoked by new at class employee. Where employee is equal to new employee. This is what actually the thing is. New keyword is required to create an object. New keyword is required to create an object. Now you see, I got Srinivas, I got a BTech, I got a Hyderabad. So first employee object was having some parameters. Those parameters I got prepared. And let me work with the function with the name. So what is the name you want? Something like get details. Okay, so I'll be having function with the get details. Where function? Okay, so is this going to be preparing with this function keyword? Get info. Where function? Get info. Okay, so what's the output of this? Inspect it, where you can create your console and uncaught exception identifier, syntax error, unexpected identifier. What's the issue? Okay, so check with the properties first, then we'll go for the methods. JavaScript methods. How you can work with the methods. Custom methods. Class methods you can go for. Just get it here. Okay. constructor method is. This is a get, this is a set. Where is a set method? Let no function keyword. Get info. Get info. Okay, so here we need to write with the constructor. Constructor is going to be having two parameters. One is the name, one is the qualification, one is the location. So location. So in this constructor, I want to give. Okay, so name is equal to this dot name, this dot name. Then qualification is equal to this dot qualification, and location is equal to this dot location. Get info. Can I get info here? What get info is going to be getting? Can I go with the document dot write? Document dot write, and let me go with the employee name is plus employee name plus I want to give something like name and take a break. Document dot write break. Document dot write break. Yeah, fine. This is actually get info method, and make it to copy and paste. And this one employee. This is employee name. This is employee qualification. This one this time qualification. Employee location. So this one this is location. So location. Yeah. So this is the get info method. So now object got created. Now I'm not going to be setting the values over there, and I'm not getting values here. So you can write that without constructor. But when we have the constructor, we can able to get the method. So emp dot get info. Emp dot get info. What get info method contains with? Get info method already contains with employee name, employee qualification, employee location. So fine. Now let me right click on this. So you can provide the values by properties. Employee name is not getting. What's the problem? We are not actually setting the values for the object for employee. So employee we need to pass parameters. How many parameters we need to pass? So three parameters I need to pass. One is the Srinivas, one is the MCA, one is the qualification, one is the Hyderabad. Now I'm passing the values for the employee object, where emp is equal to new employee. A new employee got created. For the new employee, I'm getting a method called getInfo. So object-based programming. So JavaScript is not object-oriented programming, but object-based programming. So values smart are passing somewhere. Console qualification is not defined somewhere. You are getting issue QUAL qualification. Where is the qualification we have? QUAL qualification. This dot qualification. Where? Okay, something like this dot name is equal to name. This dot qualification is equal to qualification parameter passing, and this dot location is equal to location. Simply just reverse. Simply just make it reverse. Now maybe you will get. Okay, not getting values. Where's the issue? One sec. Get info. Now here this one, this dot qualification, this dot location. This is the keyword which is going to be referenced in the current class. This is the keyword which is going to be referenced in the current class. Now we got output Employee name Srinivas, employee qualification MCA, employee location Hyderabad. First employee, this is first employee. For example, if you want to see the second employee, one more employee if you want to go with, and just make it a break, document dot write to break. I can give the break inside the get info, right? When I give the HR document dot write, let me place something like HR is horizontal row. Every time horizontal row is created. Now let me create a one more employee using by the JavaScript. One more employee. This employee is nothing but now Suresh, and he is BTech. He is BTech, and he is from Vizag. He's from Vizag. Now get info. Every time get info is calling. Two employees got created. Two employees got created, and two employees we get output now. First employee is Redeva, second employee got Suresh, and he's BTech. He's from Vizag. So values are passing with parameters over there. How to pass values in the parameters? You can take a constructor, take parameters like name, qualification, location, whatever the attributes you want to pass. And finally, this dot name is equal to name. This dot name is the first parameter, first attribute. First attribute. This is first attribute, and this is also attribute. This is also attribute. And here these are parameters. These are what? Parameters. And this is method, class method. Class method can able to access by the object. When you create object, object is the blueprint of the class. Employee is new employee. New is the keyword. See, two keywords, three keywords we got in the program. One keyword is called constructor. Another keyword is called this. Another keyword is called new. Three keywords we got now. So this is object oriented in JavaScript, not object oriented, object based JavaScript programming is. Okay. So try to work out all the JavaScript programs. I'm going to be sending the list of JavaScript programs to you people today. And immediately I'm going to be starting with CSS3. This batch CSS3. Year 6.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now let me take a bunch of text for the paragraph. Let me take a bunch of text for the paragraph. Okay, so this particular paragraph, I want to give the multiple columns. Let me give the style. For this style, I want to give the multi-column layout. Okay, so style. Okay, so for the paragraph, I want to give the properties for the multi-column layout. How to give the properties for the paragraph? Column count is equal to 3. And one more property, column gap. Column gap, I am taking something like 10 pixel. Okay. There are two properties. One is a column count, one is a column gap. When I am giving two properties, column count and column gap, automatically you can able to see your paragraph taking by columns. The paragraph taking with columns, multiple columns you can apply. For example, this paragraph is paragraph 1, class 1, and one more paragraph I'm taking with the class 2. One more paragraph I'm taking with the class 2. So two paragraphs I have now. The first paragraph is dot one one, and second paragraph is dot two. Yes, so this is dot 2. For 2, I'm giving a column count 2 only, and this is going to be 10 pixel gap. Now you will be having two paragraphs. First paragraph which is going to be having 3 columns. Second paragraph which is going to be having 2 columns, called column layout. This is called column layout. You can apply column layout for your content. This is actually called multi-column layout. Next, there is a one more property which is going to be box shadow and text shadow. How box shadow is going to be working? How text shadow is going to be working? Box shadow. Can I give shadow directly? Shadow.html. Let me take a division, sir. Let me take a division, and for this division, For this division, I am going to be writing a style. Okay, so let me access the division. First of all, division is going to be having some background color, red color. Background color, let me take a black. And the width of the division, yes, black, black. And the width of the division, which is going to be 200 pixel, and height of the division is going to be 100 pixel. 100 pixel. Now, for this, I want to give the box shadow. So box shadow, for this box shadow, I need to give multiple properties. Box shadow, multiple properties. What are the multiple properties? I will tell you. Box shadow, CSS. So can you see there are multiple properties for the box shadow? So one is this one. Let me go with properties. You can go with this is the box shadow properties. Syntax of the box shadow should be like this. Syntax of the properties should be like this. So the one is horizontal offset, vertical offset, blur radius, spread, and color. Horizontal offset, vertical offset, blur, spread, and color. We have to take 5 parameters for the box shadow. 5 parameters for the box shadow. So what are the different kind of 5 parameters we have to give? Let me give a box shadow 10 pixel, 30 pixel, 10 pixel. Let me give box shadow. This one is the box shadow. Give the value for the box shadow. So 5 pixel, 10 pixel, and color I'm going to be giving. So color, can I take color red? Can I take color red? So this is going to be having some box shadow for your element. So let me take the element now. Can you see your box, black color box, having some shadow effect? What is the shadow effect you can see? Red color. So box shadow, which is going to be having multiple values. So first value 5 pixel and second value 10 pixel. Horizontal offset, vertical offset, color also given, and spread. How much spread do you want to take? Blur radius 10 pixel, and spread is going to be 10 pixel. Okay, now you see your shadow is going to be having 5 properties. What are the 5 properties? The one is horizontal offset, the one is vertical offset, the one is blur, the one is spread like 5, spread only 5, and the color is red. You can see this now. You can see this now. Your box is having some shadow. Your box is going to be having some shadow. So inside the division, let me take some text. So this will be something like a full stack. This will be something like a full stack. Okay, for this particular text, I want to give the text shadow effect. How to give the text shadow? Text hyphen shadow. For text shadow, this number of properties no need. Only 4 properties you can take. This much. Okay, so this is what actually text shadow. For the text shadow, I am going to be giving the green color. For the text shadow, I am giving the green color. And for the text shadow property, one property is miss, guys. One property is miss. What is that? Spread is going to be missing. A blur is going to be missing. Blur is going to be miss. Now you take text shadow. We got a text shadow. Where is the text? Text color will be something like white. Basically, black will come. Color will be white. Now you'll be having some text now. Where is the text? Yeah, I got a text. And you be having some shadow effect for that. What kind of shadow you take? Let me check yellow. On black and black, green is not visible. On black, green is not visible. So something like a texture shadow you can see. Can you see texture shadow? But it's too much. Let me give the proper values for that. text shadow. Text shadow. Okay, so can you give something like too much? This is okay. This much is enough, huh? 2 pixel, 2 pixel. This is enough. 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 5 pixel, right? Maybe this will be good now. Let me go and check it out. Okay. You'll be having a red shadow effect. Can you see that? Can you see? Shadow is there. Red shadow. Shadow is there. Red shadow. On top of the text also you can be providing by the shadow. So that is one is a box shadow, one is a text shadow, two things. And now I'll take animate effector. How to work with animate effector on top of the elements. Animations.html. Okay, for this animations, see this box shadow, whatever you are applying, you need to give for the different kind of browsers. So this is latest browser, not a problem. But old browsers, whenever you go, you have to give the mouse effect and mouse box shadow. You need to give. For the old browsers also, we need to apply this same values. For old browsers also, it should be applied. For old browsers, box shadow. For old browsers, text shadow. Boss text shadow. One is the mouse. One is the Opera. For Opera, O, right? For Opera old browsers, O. And for Moz for Chrome browsers, Moz for Mozilla, and Chrome browsers, WebKit. WebKit. You have to give the WebKit. WebKit for the Chrome browser. So remember these three also we have to give for the old browsers. So old browsers, we need to apply the same property. You have to give the 3 lines extra. One for Mozilla, old browsers. One for Opera, old browsers. One for Chrome, old browsers. So let me give, this is for Mozilla old browsers. Mozilla old browsers, CSS3 need to apply. You have to give this syntax again, moz hyphen moz hyphen. This is for Mozilla old browsers. This is for Opera old browsers. Opera. And this is for Chrome old browsers. Chrome old browsers. Sorry, Chrome old browsers. So just remember this. Every time for CSS3 we need to write extra 3 more lines. Whenever you are writing CSS3 property, 3 more lines extra we need to write. One for old browser Mozilla, one for old browser Opera, one for old browser Chrome. That's it. Now let me go for the animations, guys. Okay. Take a division. Take a division. So this division is going to be having something like a full stack web development. Now for this division, I want to write a style with animation. Okay. So take division and div over. When I need to hover, when I hover on the division, I need to make it width. Basically, division width is division background color, division width, all these things we need to take first of all. Background color is black. Width of the division is 100 pixel. 100 pixel. And height of the division also 100 pixel. A box I am taking first of all. For this box, I want to make it animate. Animate or animation? Animation. What I need to make it animation? I need to animate width, which is going to be animate width. Let me take it here 300 pixel, and we should give the timer 2 seconds. Okay, let me check animate property. CSS3 CSS3 animations. So okay, animation we need to apply keyframes, I think so. For animation we need to apply keyframes. Translate transition. Can I work for the transition first? Where is the transitions? Let me go for the transition effects. Better you go for the transitions first, huh? Basically, this is the width when we do hover this one. Transition. Okay, so this will be program name is getting changed. Now this is having save as transitions. Transitions.html. Let me go for the transitions first. Okay, so width 2 seconds. I want to make it 300 pixel. Let me hover on this. So transition is not applying. Where is the problem? Animate or animation? Transition effect. Transition. Transition and hover. Sorry, this is transition. Sorry. Now you'll go for a transition. On top of this, hover. Hover is not working. Div colon hover. Div colon hover. Which should be 300 pixel. See this. So transition is applying on top of the div. When I do hover, transition is applying. So can I do transition with height? Width 2 seconds. Height 2 seconds. Height 2 seconds. Okay, let me give the height. Height 300 pixel. Height 300 pixel. Let me change this. So both are working at the same time. Both are working at the same time. Okay. This is the transition chaining effect. Okay, let me do one thing. Delay. Delay 1 second. What is this delay method? What is this delay property? Waiting time. Okay, so transition width. Okay, can I do the background color? Can I do the background color? Something like a biscuit. And this is going to be background color. Let me do one thing. So transition width, transition HUIGHT, transition height 2 seconds, and transition background color, transition background color 2 seconds, and biscuit color I want to change. Okay, let me open this. Applying now. So width is changing, height is changing, background color also. Everything is going to be transition. Okay, so and let me apply the font size 30 pixel, and transition font size transition font size within 2 seconds. Now you see transition font size also applying for this. Can you see? Transition font size also applying. So check with the multiple examples for the transition over there. There are multiple properties you can make it to transition with this. And basically animations. For animation, we need to work with the keyframes. So we need to define keyframes. So that animations we will see in the next class. One more is transformations. One more is the custom fonts, how to apply. One more is the gradient colors, how to apply with CSS3. Tomorrow CSS3 will be finished. And for you people, 10 a.m. people, CSS3, after CSS3, I will go for jQuery, Bootstrap, HTML5. And 11:30 batch, we will go for the ES6 and React.js with Node.js, Express.js, MongoDB database. For the next 20-25 days, you have to be focused on React Node backend part. Front-end part, anyway, we are going to be learning. Backend part also we are going to be learning. Next 25 days, 11:30 to 1:30, 2-hour session. Please try to remember everybody, from today onwards, we will be having 2-hour session, 11:30 to 1:30. That session is going to be for React Node Express MongoDB for the next 20-25 days, including Saturdays and Sundays. Please try to attend. And afternoon 3 p.m. we have the batch for Python. If anybody interested for Python, you can join for that. No need to pay for Python. You can join for the Python. That is not including the full stack. That is not including into the full stack. You people please ready for the Marna stack full stack within 20-25 days. That's it. So join again 11:30, everybody.